What would you do if you accidentally discovered the house next door was occupied by something not human? Something horrifying. Something unspeakably evil. No one believes you.
Mom, I didn't have a nightmare.
Not your mom.
They did kill a girl over there.
Not your girlfriend.
Charlie, is this some sort of a trick to get me back?
Not even the police.
Look, I know it's crazy. I know that, but look, Lieutenant!
It knows that you know. You'll do anything to protect yourself. But it will do anything to protect its secret. Fright Night. If you love being scared, this could be the night of your life.
Fright Night. What's good, guys? Welcome back to the spin-off Talking Out the Movies podcast. This is original versus remake. Let's talk Fright Night. What's the year's Mo? 1985?
So 1985 for the Fright Night, the original,
and
and 2011 for the remake.
I think this is going to be a quick episode because I think it's got to be hands down what the superior version is.
I don't know if it's I don't know if it's hand. Oh my lord! I will say though, I thought the remake was a very good film. It just lacked. So I think it just lacked that 80s cheesiness, right? And the Vincent Price character was changed far too much.
Yeah. You want to break down the synopsis? You can bring it up in front of you.
Yeah, so essentially the synopsis for the original, which is exactly the same for the remake, is a teenager discovers that the newcomer in his neighborhood is a vampire. So he turns to an actor in a television horror show for help dealing with the undead. And that in itself has to be addressed as well.
How dumb is he to think a TV actor, not even that, like an actor from a decade or two earlier, who's just a presenter now, is a legit vampire hunter? What's wrong with this kid?
So, you know what? I actually did have this conversation with myself, right? And I thought, maybe 1985, we were all a bit more naive, right? And you could almost excuse somebody for doing that. In the year 2011, with like the internet, smartphones, all that sort of stuff, you would not go to an actor for help.
That's even worse. That guy was a magician in the friggin' remake. That's even less credibility, in my opinion.
Yeah,
wow.
But they had that little twist, though, didn't they?
What was that?
That he actually knew about vampires and stuff.
Yeah, kind of. But he bought his shit on eBay, and it was all this collector shit. Like, oh my god. But yeah, enjoyed this. I'd never actually seen the original Fright Night.
I had neither as well.
One of the few ones I fell through the cracks for me as a kid. Never saw this. I had seen
what?
But not the original.
I'm realizing there is a whole batch of like B-style B horror movies that from the 80s that I've never seen, never heard of, and suddenly I'm hearing of them and now like wanting to watch them. Like
the comedy horror genre. These are the movies which Joss Whedon would have watched when he was younger, which fed into creating Buffy a decade later with the movie, and then a decade after that with the TV show. This is basically like an episode of Buffy. This is Xander and Willow, their bottleneck episode of a vampire movie next door to Xander. That's what this is. That's what the whole movie is.
I've got to say, I thought it was the original was a fantastic film. It was so good. Apparently there is a sequel as well, which is stuck in...
Today.
Oh, you watched the sequel? It's stuck in Wright's hell, apparently, because the original studio doesn't own the rights to that one. So the people who made the film had to fund it elsewhere. So it's only had one Blu-ray release in Germany that fans aren't actually sure is a legitimate release.
What, number 2?
Yeah, number 2. So it's not been released anywhere else.
This is why it's available in perfect quality on YouTube, because no one has the rights to it. No one seems to care to take it down. There's like a couple of them up on YouTube. Yeah. I stumbled across it because I was listening to the soundtrack.
Yep.
The movie, which is part of the reason why the original movie works so much better than the remake.
Yeah.
The music itself is just that synth 80s carpenter vibe. Just, love it.
I'm honestly surprised. I actually thought you were going to go, the remake is far superior.
Really, man. You know, logic. We'll get to that. Yes. Well, actually, no. Let me save the part 2 for afterwards. No, man. Come on, man. The original has logical step by step. I prefer the setup that, what's his name? William Ragsdale, who plays Charlie. Him being the guy who suspects the neighbor is a vampire works better than his random friend.
Yep.
I didn't like how the remake set it up because it just didn't seem logical how it got to.
It almost changed everything for the sake of changing everything. It's like, how did McLovin know to just sit there and watch this guy?
No, it was just a random. Why would you do that? So it made more sense that the kid, suspects the neighbors and is watching the neighbors and seeing people come in and not leaving. That just works. It's kind of like the movie.
Exactly.
The Tom Hanks one, was it?
Oh, the Burbs.
Burbs, yeah, where he suspects the neighbors of doing something suspect because he's watching them come and go and.
Yeah. And the whole movie then just plays out logically, right? As in, you get like his friend goes, "Don't worry, you got nothing to worry about. Don't invite him in." And obviously, he's such a charming gentleman that the mum's just invited him in for a cup of tea.
Always the freaking mum. Always. Even didn't that happen with Lost Boys as well? It's the mum that just kind of invites them in. Come on in, have a cup of coffee. The
cast for the original, absolutely brilliant cast, right? Roddy McDowall obviously is is famous for being in countless other stuff.
Yeah, he was great. The older actors, they were great. But the younger guys, I think there was a bit of charisma missing there for some of them.
I thought the actor who played Charlie, I thought was fairly adequate. I thought his girlfriend was a little bit wooden.
I was going to say, would it have benefited the original if they had a more recognizable 80s actress?
I don't know if more. Would she have been wanting to do something like this, though?
Well, it's still pretty early on. How far after Gremlins? This is probably before or after?
No, Gremlins was also 85, wasn't it?
Oh, there you go. Perfect. It's the same sort of level movie.
I don't know. I mean, I didn't mind. Her wooding was a little wooden, but I didn't actually mind her.
But she was better once she turned vampire. Then
I was going to say, not only was she better, but like she went right up on the hotness scale as well once she was turned into a vampire.
Yes. The friend, though, evil. He was fucking annoying, man. That is not a friend. That is not a friend.
I don't. Was he actually a friend, or was he just a weirdo that he went to for help?
He knew to just go into the guy's house and just like, you don't only do that with people who you're a friend with.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. No, that was not. That kid is on the spectrum. So has to be in a special school.
The vampire himself, Jerry. Brilliant vampire name, though.
Yes. Sarandon.
Yep.
He's the guy that Susan Sarandon got her name from. I didn't know that.
Is that her father?
No, she got married to him and kept the name.
Oh, she kept the name.
Yeah. They were married in the 60s.
So he was also, when I was looking through his filmography, it's been a long time since I've seen The Princess Bride, but he was Prince Humperdinck.
Okay. Yeah, I read he's a familiar face. And it took me a second to recognize him when he was in the remake as well.
Was he in the remake?
Yeah, he was the guy. Remember the sequence in the car when they're driving away?
Was that him? Was it? Oh, yeah.
Drives up. Yeah.
The one who they had the accident with. Oh, yeah, I didn't notice that, actually.
That was him. You think, oh, cameo. Nice.
Hey, nice. What do you actually do you think that in the 80s this film was scary?
No. These sort of comedy horror things, they're never really... No. Because Gremlins isn't scary, Ghostbusters isn't scary.
But Gremlins and Ghostbusters, I always think are not horror films. Although I know they get lumped.
But even this is really a horror film. There's nothing really, except for the woman's mouth was opening up. I think that's the closest thing to horror that this has.
They got vampires in it. They got dudes who get shot who don't die. I have no idea what he was.
Yeah, that was an inconsistent thing for me. He's the companion of Jerry.
Yeah, the valet.
At first, we're supposed to believe that he's like a familiar. I think they usually describe him in vampire lore.
Yep.
The daywalker, human companion.
Does their bidding, yeah.
Yeah, that takes care of them. But once he gets shot in the head, suddenly we see that he's on there too. So what the fuck was he? And he's walking around in daytime.
Yeah, I don't think he definitely wasn't a vampire because he was bleeding like green blood.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't have no idea. What the fuck? They never established it. I think that was a bit of a little hole, but apart from that.
But I think that's what, like, a lot of these films that try to wrap up in like an hour and a half, an hour, 40 minutes, they do leave a few of those, but like they never outstay their welcome. So by the time this film was over, you were kind of like, cool, I could do a bit more of that. So I was really glad to find out that there is a sequel.
Yeah, let's break down quickly the whole thing of Fright Night. 1985, directed by Tom Holland. It's not the Spider-Man Tom Holland.
Got that, yep.
A different one. Budget of $9 million, and it made $25 million. So it did pretty damn good.
Yep.
In the time. And it's the same director that made Child's Play.
Oh, right. I haven't looked at his filmography yet.
So that's interesting, eh?
Well, they do have a similar tone, right? Because there's a lot of comedy in Child's Play as well.
There is. But that's
if not so in your face.
Yeah. That's a lot more of a straight horror, though.
Yeah.
No grey area there. But yeah, I really did enjoy. I liked it, but after watching the remake afterwards, I then liked the original even more. It went up a star for me.
Cool. I was really expecting you to say the second one, like the remake, had better effects. The story was just better. Imogen Poots was just a lot hotter.
It was. The effects were, but no, it had no logic. It was just too thrown together.
I'll tell you what I did like about the remake, though. Is you know, when they're in the house and he's saying stay in the house, we're safe here, we can't come in. Yeah. The dude just goes out the back of the house, digs up the garden, and finds the gas. That was really, because you kind of think, because obviously I'm doing rewatching Buffy as well at the moment. You always think, why don't they just throw shit through the window? They could easily just make a pipe bomb and just go.
Yeah, rip the roof off. Yeah. But yeah, we got to break down the sequel as well then, or the remake, should I say. 2011, Craig Gillespie. This is a good director. Like, he's done good shit. He did I, Tonya, which was a very good film. Finest Hours, which was a good film. Lars and the Real Girl, was a damn good film. Budget of $30 million, and it only made $41 million back.
Ooh, but they did do a sequel of this as well, though, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. Almost watched it, but I couldn't be asked. But yeah, this is a real all-star cast here.
Yeah.
Imogen Poots, love her. And
I'd never even heard of before this.
Oh, come on. Oh,
I watched it and I was like, where have you been all my life?
Dude, she's done a bunch of awesome things, man. I think Green Room's a great one to check out with her.
Yeah, not seen that either.
But Anton Yeltsin, who's also in the Green Room with her. Rest in peace, dude. Oh, jeez. Colin Farrell.
Yep.
David Tennant, Doctor Who.
Yep.
Got Christopher let's not forget his real name, Lovin from Superbad. Everyone knows him from that. Got Dave Franco.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I mean, you miss it. Well, I mean, you haven't mentioned Toni Collette, but she's like got an IMDb list this long. She's been in loads of shows. Yeah.
She doesn't really do much. She's a bit wasted, considering, you know, her caliber of an actress she is.
She's just a very religious, flirty mom, right? I love that scene, actually, when he's leaving the hospital and the nurse looks at the room with all the crosses.
Yeah. But, yeah, I think the only things I liked about it is, that scene with the garden, pulling up the pipe, and that scene in the car when they're escaping. And the cameras turn around, and you see that motorbike fly in the background and coming through the back window. That was kind of cool. Yeah. Oh, and when when Yeltsin tries to rescue the woman from the basement.
Yes, yeah.
When, they're out, he's escaped, and then suddenly she just... That only good bits in this for me. It doesn't have none of the humor, none of the style, music.
Yeah, the humor's not there at all. Then you kind of get a little bit, not mad, but you kind of like, when they deviate from like the original, you're kind of like, oh, it's not better this way. It's like, it was better in the original.
Yeah.
David Tennant was an interesting choice for this, right? Because he didn't remind me of the original. And for some bizarre reason, I almost kind of imagined he was trying to do a Russell Brand impersonation or something.
I was thinking more, what was that guy, the magician, the dark one? Chris Angel, Mind Freak, whatever he was called. He was big in the early 2000s. That was his exact gimmick, his character. That was the exact thing he would do.
Right.
So, yeah, why would you idolize I guess Chris Angel was big in his time.
Yeah.
But again, to think that a TV magician is a legit vampire killer.
That bit doesn't. Like I said, in the '85 version, it might have sort of kind of made sense. You might be able to get away. To do it now, it just was idiotic.
No.
Although I guess, right, if you think about it logically, there is no one you can go to about vampires, right? If you suddenly thought your neighbor is a vampire, who would you go to?
None. But then, would you need to go to anyone? Who doesn't know the lore of vampires? Who doesn't know what their weakness is in this day and age?
People who are in horror films, apparently.
It's crazy. So, how do you compare actors from the remake to the original? Like Colin Farrell compared to Christopher Sarandon or Chris Sarandon?
So I actually thought Colin Farrell was actually quite good in this particular film, right? He actually played like a vampire really well. Obviously, he didn't play it smart like the original, because in the original one, he was smart, right? He wasn't there to cause damage. Like his whole thing was, he even tells Charlie at one point, if you forget about me, I'll forget about you. Whereas the Colin Farrell version just wanted to kill and maim and no undercover.
No subtlety. He's just like showing everybody what he is and what he can do. He's just Whereas the other one, the original guy, he was a lot more suave and smooth.
Exactly, like what you imagine a traditional vampire to be, right? Somebody who's charming, who, if you said that guy's a vampire, no one would ever believe you because he was just such a nice guy.
That's it. How do you compare the two leads?
What I found odd, and this is like a really horrible thing to say about Anton Yelchin, right, is the very first thing is, and I think they even addressed this in the movie, they're like, how have you got, looking like the way you do, a girlfriend that looks like Imogen Poots?
That's always the way, man.
That was the very first thing.
Yeah.
I liked the Charlie from the original.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think he was written better. I don't know if the actor is better.
Well,
the actors, yeah.
Yeah, okay, I see what you mean. Yeah, but I guess the original, he had a lot more to work with, or something that was a lot more believable. Like you said, the fact that he was watching his neighbor and comes to the realization that he's a vampire. Imogen Poots, I mean, she had a little bit more to do in this film than the actress from the original.
But they turned the tables on her. She was the sexual aggressive one, and he's the one that's like, no, not ready. No, please, not yet. Compared to the chick in the original, that's like, get off me.
Well, I guess that's like the woman's lib movement of like the 21st century, right?
Who, especially looking like Yeltsin looks, who is gonna say no to freaking Pooh?
That was just poorly written as well. I can't imagine any guy in his right mind,
come on,
when it's offered up, would say no.
And I know you haven't watched the part 2 of the 80s version.
I flicked through it quickly.
There's I got a feeling that Charlie in the original should be on a sex offenders list, because not only is he overly sexually aggressive in the first movie with the chick, which has to push him off, the same thing with the chick in the second one as well. He's like, this guy's a future, put him on the register.
It was the 80s, Eddie.
Yeah. But, so how much of the second one did you see then?
I've literally just flicked through it just to see what it kind of looked like. And it pretty much looks like it's not a remake, but it's following the threads of the first film quite closely, right?
Basically, the chick, the main vampire woman, is like a little crew this time.
Yeah.
Way more Buffy-ish as well. Way more first season Buffy-ish.
Yeah.
But it's led by a vampire who's the sister of Jerry in the first one.
Ah, right.
He wants revenge, but it's so inconsistent with what kills vampires. It's like it's a different writer director in this one, and they just don't know the rules of how vampires work, because they just whatever. Like one vampire dies from getting his stomach clawed, and suddenly guts turn into worms and dies.
So not as good as the original then.
Oh, and he completely, the main character, friggin' not friggin' notes, friggin' Charlie. He doesn't believe in vampires anymore. After everything he went through in that first movie, he goes to counseling, and now he disbelieves. It's all in his imagination. Vampires aren't real. And basically he spends the first half of this part 2 having to be convinced that vampires are real again.
Well, that's
So annoying.
That's a psychological thing, though. It's a coping mechanism, right? Yeah.
And then friggin' the Vincent, what's his name? Vincent.
Vincent Price, Roddy McDowell.
Yeah, Peter Vincent. He does believe. So he's trying to convince the kid that yes, they are real. Yeah, I must believe. But then when friggin' Charlie finally does believe, then Vincent doesn't believe. He's been convinced that he doesn't. So they basically just go back and forth for like over half of the movie. It's so frustrating. It is not as good. Not at all.
Oh dear. I know Roddy McDowell was apparently up for doing like a third film, but it just like never materialized.
It's a shame. It's a shame. But do you think this could be resurrected?
What, this franchise?
Yeah.
You know what? If done properly, I think you hit it on the head there when you said it's the original was very Buffy-ish.
Yeah.
If they had like folks that could do like something like Buffy with this, quite tongue-in-cheek, action-orientated, actually, I would not be opposed to another remake.
Ooh, there you go.
Yeah.
There were a few fun action beats in the remake.
You know what? I will say I like the remake. Right? It's not one. I wasn't like this hurts my eyes. Turn it off. Whatever. Yeah. I actually will say I actually had fun and enjoyed it.
A few cool moments. Yeah, like the fact, the bit where Colin Farrell, the cross gets put up in his face, and Colin Farrell just puts his hand on it and it just melts.
Yeah.
It was just certain cool visuals there, but overall, just didn't have the soul or the logic of the original, which is kind of
the original just had a charm all of its own. And this is not nostalgia speaking, right? Because like you and I have just said, we'd never heard of this film, or we'd never seen it. Yeah, we'd never seen it. So it's not like we've got 30-odd years worth of nostalgia saying this is better. We're fresh to it. We're literally saying the original is better.
Yeah, way better. Yeah. Have you wanted to get into the soundtrack at all yet?
You know what? I haven't. I might give that a spin now.
Yeah, go for it, man.
Yeah.
Playlist, go for it. It's nice.
I've got like a whole bunch of films like in this genre, like all queued up to watch.
Ooh, what's next?
So there's a film called Return of the Living Dead, which also looks very much like this. I came across one today called Night of the Comet, which if you watch the trailer, there is a certain Robert Beltran from Star Trek Voyager.
Oh, God.
That's in it. I've just got the House films.
Ooh.
Do you remember those? I've never seen those. They used to be on like the trailer on so many VHS tapes that I rented back in the day.
I think I saw like the first two, maybe. Yeah. Damn.
Yeah, there's like 4 of those.
Yeah, those are more full-on hell, those ones.
Well, no, so I know the original one is also just billed as like a comedy horror.
Really? I don't remember it being funny. I was too young to get the jokes. Damn. But yeah, I enjoyed Fright Night. It's a shame the second one didn't live up to it. But yeah, a lot of enjoyment. Cast mainly. Could have done with a little bit more like original star power in that cast. You know, like a young... she would have been too young, innit? Melissa Milano, she was still too young at that point.
Well, she was the little girl in Commando in like the previous year. She was way too young.
Yeah, she was way too young. Yeah. But if she was of age, then that would have been... She the type of actress that would have added a little bit more to that young cast.
I don't know why you're hating on the original actress there so much.
No, they just the young cast, they're a bit bland. And that friend was so annoying, but apart from that, I did enjoy it. So what'd you rate it?
I will give the original a 4.5. I would say this is almost essential viewing if you like movies, if you like horror films, if you like comedy horror. I would actually love to see Silent watch this and give us his opinion.
That'd be interesting.
I know he finds it really difficult to watch old films.
It does, doesn't it? It's crazy. I'll give it a solid 4. Originally, it was going to be a 3.5, but then after watching the remake, like I said, it just bumped it up. I just liked it even more. So yeah, solid 4 stars. And what do you give the original? I mean, the remake.
The remake, I would give that a 3.5. Not quite a 4, but certainly one of the better remakes that I've seen.
Okay.
It didn't offend me like say Total Recall did.
Oh shit! I forgot about that. Wow, that could have been one for the list. That That'd be the fun one. Yeah, I'll give the remake 3 stars.
Oh,
For the 3. Let's keep it solid. 4 and 3. Yeah, Fright Night, guys. Original and remake. What was your favorite? I'm curious to actually meet someone who has seen both but prefers the remake. There's got to be someone out there.
Oh, there's gonna be absolutely loads of people. They're probably young people.
Probably. Even yeah, maybe. Or
because I think I don't know, because maybe we were around in the 80s, so we really have a love for that period.
Yeah, the aesthetic, the sounds. Yeah. Like I said, part of the reason why I love it is the music, like that club scene where they're in the club.
Yeah.
And Jerry comes in, he seduces the girl.
Yeah,
that was actually a sexy scene, man.
That was a cool scene. Yeah, it was.
And the music was like, yo, I'm liking this. But yeah. So guys, let us know what you think. If you only listen to this, check out our Vulture Network page on YouTube, where you can actually see our faces. You can actually give us comments. You can give us questions, and you can subscribe, like, and all of that stuff. Show us love. From me, Reese.
And from me, Mo.
Yeah. What are we gonna do next? Any ideas?
Right. So I know we talked about a little while ago about the 2 Nikita films. We could do Total Recall. We just talked about that. I guess RoboCop's one of those.
That is. But I'm gonna go. Let's go Nikita.
We'll do the 2 Nikitas.
Yeah, let's do Nikitas. I want to do those ones.
Right,
yeah. It's been a long time. All right, guys. So, see you guys next week.